Ten,
Standby to take studio.
7, 6,
Standby
5,
camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of MCTV News. I'm your host, Avery Pelletier.
And I'm Brianna Farough. On today's show, Ryder O'Donnell brings us another edition to our new teacher series with Miss Wright. Ella Boissonneault gives us a look at the MCHS library, and Dylan Weiss brings us a look at the local karate centers and the values they pass on to their students. As well, Natalie Cory finishes up her two-part series featuring MCTV alumni. This time she focuses on where they are now and how their time at MCHS influenced their career. But before all that, here's our top story.
Each year, high schools across Alberta send students to the Skills Canada competition, where contests are held in a variety of events, mainly involving but not limited to the career and technology studies. Recently, reporter and past competitor herself, Jillian Andrews, had the chance to cover a day of Skills Alberta and show just how many opportunities there are for anyone to get involved.
Welcome to the 2023 Skills Alberta Provincial Competition. After 2 years of online competition, Skills is officially back at the Edmonton Expo Centre. The building is buzzing with anticipation and talent from students from around the province. From construction to baking, this event overflows with opportunity for students. And besides, who wouldn't want a chance to test their skills and go to nationals?
Skills competition is a place where students have the ability to show what they've learned through their high school and post-secondary careers in a career that they've chosen.
And then on top of that, we have industry exhibitors and triatrades that we have 10,000 students from across the province coming to tour around over the next 2 days to see all those things.
Within such a large and intricate event like Skills, competitors from all around the province take time and precision to prepare for their competitions.
All of the students are registered by either their teacher or their instructor, so then the teacher or instructor helps them prepare, helps them practice.
They work with those students that are interested in participating in the skills, and they go through different scenarios of what they're going to build.
And then I think also just preparing mentally to make sure that they're ready for the pressure and ready for the challenge.
This competition is packed full of a variety of different skill sets. Every one of these 45 categories has its own variation of preparations, but every competitor must have a similar attitude.
I think, one, they should have the attitude to take on a challenge. Don't be afraid to take on a challenge. And use it as an experience to make connections, too, because you have the chance to meet potential future employers and potential future post-secondary institutes.
I think it's good to be excited, but being nervous is also, to a degree, important.
It was refreshing for many people being able to experience an event of such grandeur. The 400 volunteers running the event helped remind Albertans of the enjoyment and pleasure that comes with putting yourself out there and testing your skills.
This is amazing. It's going to be so cool to see all the kids come through and talking to the kids. It's really been missed.
As someone who competed here 5 years ago, I can say I have gotten jobs because of skills. Like I said, I got a scholarship because of skills, so it can actually really open a lot of doors.
We were actually just saying that we forgot the buzz of energy that happens in those halls. It's a lot of work, obviously, but the payoff is amazing because you just see how impactful it is to everybody who's here.
It's safe to say Skills Alberta is well worth a try and has given an overflow of opportunity to those who participate. Reporting for MCTV News, Jillian Andrews.
Summer heat seems to have come early this year, and we're all finding ways to keep cool during these beautiful but scorching days. With these temperatures soaring well above 20 degrees, I think we're all hoping for a little relief from this crazy heat. Our in-studio meteorologist, Chorney, is here to tell us if we're set for more of these days or if we're in line from the break from the sun. Aiden?
Thank you. So today, let's start off with our national forecast. So we're going to start up north in Whitehorse, which is 12 degrees with partial cloudy. We are at Yellowknife at 10 degrees, which is going to be nice and sunny. Vancouver sitting at 16, which is also going to be very nice and sunny. We are going to have Regina sitting at 15, which is going to be cloudy. Winnipeg, which is going to be partially cloudy at 25. Now, let's see the other side. We got a Calumet at -5 with partial cloudy. We got St. John's that is cloudy at 14, Halifax at 7, which is also cloudy. Montreal at 8, that's cloudy. And we got Toronto at 25 and partly cloudy. We got High Level, that is partially cloudy, at 15. Fort McMurray at 7, which is going to be cloudy. Grand Prairie at 13, which is also partly cloudy. We got Edmonton, that it is going to be nice and sunny, at 16. Jasper's also going to be very nice and sunny at 13. Red Deer is going to have some haze and is going to be at 15. Calgary is going to be at 14 and sunny. We got Banff at 14 and sunny, and Medicine Hat at 16 and partly cloudy. Now, let's go on to the weekly forecast. The current conditions are 17 degrees Celsius. The wind is at 19 kilometers. We've got the relative humidity of 34%. Sunrise will start at 5:28 a.m. and sunset will start at 9:33 p.m. Now, let's go to the weekly forecast, sitting at Thursday, which is going to start at a high of 21 and go down to a 4, and it's going to be nice and sunny. Friday is going to be sunny and starting at a high of 27, going down to 10. Saturday is going to be cloudy, with starting at 28 as a high and a low of 11. We got Sunday, that's going to start at a high of 28 and go down to a 13. Monday is going to be rainy with 24 and go to a low of 13. Tuesday is going to be raining at a high of 19, going down to a 7. And Wednesday is going to be 16, going down to a 4. Thank you.
Thanks, Aiden. In our ongoing series introducing all the staff new to MCHS, we hope to get students a little more familiar with their new teachers. Ryder O'Donnell recently spoke with Miss Wright, known for her math and urban ag classes, to help introduce her to MCHS.
A new teacher has joined the MCHS instructor team. Although, what do they bring to the classroom?
So I try to make the math content engaging by utilizing technology. So we have our Google Classroom that the students can go to if they miss any assignments. Using Kahoot, so fun math game, is another way to ensure that we have engagement in class. And just overall to have humor, have a light moment in math. I find that eases the stress of students wanting to work really hard in math. So I have taught in the UK system, and it's different in the sense that they wear uniforms at the schools there. We don't wear uniforms here in Canada. As it pertains to the curriculum for math, it's pretty much the same, except for the UK you have more content being covered as opposed to the Canadian system. In terms of behavior policy there, it's more profound, it's more precise. Here it is there, but we have it more so, what do you say now? It's more documented in the UK. The transportation is also different. So here the kids, they come via the school bus. In the UK, you have to find your own transportation to school. So you find that most kids may take public transport. Of course, the biggest difference is the climate. There's no winter snow in the UK. In Canada, we do have snow. So those are some major differences that I have noticed.
With this new teacher in the classroom, students have many opinions on her. But what are their thoughts?
Very nice teacher. She helps us out wherever we're stuck, and she has a good personality. Makes you feel good to be in the classroom. Not a lot of fun, just copying and pasting the stuff.
Yeah, it's effective. She talks about everything, repeats it, asks if we need help or not. Most of the time, if students are cooperating with her. Yeah, we joke sometimes. So it's interesting.
For more information on MCHS faculty, head to www.mchs.gsacred.ab.ca for the full list. For MCTV News, Ryder O'Donnell.
Here are your school announcements for Wednesday, May 17th. If you are a student interested in the Summer Work Experience program, please ensure that you return your program permission form to Mr. Lassard directly or through the office in order to be registered. Track and field practices are ongoing for interested senior high students. Monday and Wednesday practices are for sprinters and distance athletes, while Tuesdays and Thursdays are for shot put, discus, and javelin training. See Mr. Lassard for more information. And as a reminder for Howells, the library is a quiet working space, just like the rest of the school day. If you're looking for somewhere to talk with your friends, please sign up for the CTS Commons area. For these and all other school information, keep connected by listening to the daily announcements, logging on to the school's website at www.mchs.gsacred.ab.ca, or by following the school on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. As well, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching MCTV Morinville.
A piece on one of our most familiar and quiet atmospheres in the school. The library is a go-to spot in MCHS for students looking to get some work done or just a quiet space to themselves. It is a staple in the life of an MCHS student, and many people are very familiar with the area. Reporter Ella Boissonneault brings her report to detail all this and more.
A library is an essential aspect of a community, so it's no doubt in a school environment it is necessary to have to meet the needs of the students it provides for.
I've been here for a year and a half. I wanted to be a librarian because I really like being at the library and the idea that it can help build community and make people's lives better through reading and meeting people.
I think having a library is important. First of all, the books live there, and books is where we learn. We have phones and computers that are pretty sophisticated that allow us access to a lot of information at our fingertips. The internet is a great place to get you started. To kind of get deeper and get a more fulfilled idea of what you're looking at, you need books.
A library doesn't just have books, but it has a librarian. Librarians are required in a library to, of course, organize those books, but to create a safe space where people can come together to learn.
I think we have a pretty good library with how many books we have, and we have a really nice librarian as well who helps us all the time, so it seems pretty good.
I like Mr. Pohl a lot. I think he cares about students. I think that he is getting to know the people who are coming into his library. He's knowledgeable. He's bringing in some really neat stuff into the library. He creates a really good space.
Asking people to keep it down in respect for the people taking the tests. So having that respect for other people.
Because I know lots of kids like to do extra reading and they might not have that at home. And just having somewhere to work at where it's quiet.
You need a quiet study space, and the library offers that. And so I think if you're not using the library, you should be using the library.
A library can provide a safe haven for those who need it. Emotions can be expressed while reading, and going to the library to take time for yourself is a great idea if you're looking for somewhere calm and quiet.
Hard times in my life, I found myself coming to the library more, and it was a very good use of my spare time. I could have been up to much, much worse things. Instead, I came to the library and I learned more, and then I landed up bettering myself through that.
You really want to make sure that library is valued because it's a very important place.
Here at MCHS, we have a wonderful library with lots of opportunities. It is encouraged to go and try it out. Take out a book, use it to catch up on your homework, or complete a missed test. Although, if you are planning to use the library, it is recommended to be quiet and respect the space and others. For MCTV News, Ella Boissonneault reporting.
Welcome back. Here with all the recent sports league updates, including the NHL, MLB, and NBA, is my co-host and your sports reporter, Brianna Farough.
Thanks, Avery. In the NHL, 4 teams have moved on to the conference finals, which start tomorrow evening. The Eastern Conference Final showcases the upstart Florida Panthers against the heavily favored Carolina Hurricanes. While in the West, the Vegas Golden Knights will host the Dallas Stars on Friday after their 5-2 win against the Oilers, which overjoyed Mr. Bounstein and devastated many staff and students. Turning to the NBA playoffs, the first game of the conference finals was played. The Nuggets have a 1-0 lead on their best of the 7 series, with the Lakers winning by a score of 132 to 126. In the MLB, the Yankees doubled the Jays 6-3, Miami edged Washington 5-4, Rays scored 3 runs in the third en route 8-5 victory over the Mets. Oakland needed 12 innings to beat Arizona 9-8, and the Tigers blanked the Pirates 4-0. Next up, Dylan Weiss brings us a deep dive into the art and style of traditional karate. He had an opportunity to interview 2 local senseis from Morinville and St. Albert and brings us this report.
Weichi-ryu is a traditional style of Okinawan karate meaning style of Weichi. Although the style was originally called Pangai Noon meaning half hard, half soft, it was renamed after the founder Kanbun Weichi. Master Kanbun Weichi was an Okinawan who originally trained in Fujian province under his master, Shushiwa. Now, this style is practiced throughout Canada, as well as in many countries around the globe.
I've been training Weichi Karate for over 8 years now at Rook School of Karate, and some of the advantages of doing karate is that it's a lot of endorphin releasers and it's a stress reliever. I like to come here and train my style.
I've been studying Weichi Karate for almost 24 years now. I've achieved the rank of Rokudan 6th degree black belt. They consider Weichi Karate to be a lifelong endeavor, something that you should be practicing your entire life. It's used for being physical and works on your stretching and conditioning levels and just overall general health.
I'm going to be 59 next year. I started in Weichi Karate when I was 26. I think the noticeable benefits, well, the top of the list is health, right? Because you're exercising regularly. You're doing something. The nice thing about Weichi Karate, but it's not just Weichi really, it's any traditional karate, is that you don't need any fancy equipment. You just need a little space and you can practice karate.
Training this style requires efforts from the individual, but these efforts are not without their advantages in return.
Definitely, some of the advantages are learning from many different people throughout the world, being able to travel and see different parts of the countries and worlds around. I've been to Japan and the United States in several different locations. And then just the biggest benefit is learning from different senseis and teachers throughout the world.
Yeah, I think with a good karate school that's connected to a good international organization, the biggest opportunity it presents is the ability to connect with people from around the world. So I have students that have traveled with me to Europe, to Asia, to South America, all over North America for karate events. They've met masters and students from all over the world. They have friends now. So I think that's the biggest thing, to realize that you're doing something and practicing something that people are practicing and doing the same moves all over the world.
For MCTV News, Dylan Weiss reporting.
When the Alberta provincial election was called on Monday, May the 1st, MCTV News reached out to the 3 candidates running in the Morinville-St. Albert riding to sit down for a series of live in-studio interviews to discuss topics of interest to voters in the region. Today, we are pleased to have NDP candidate Karen Shaw joining us in studio. Thank you very much for your time today, Karen.
Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, just for starters, I would just like to ask you, what got you into politics?
It was something that I'd never thought that I was going to do, but when our land was rezoned to Alberta's heavy industrial land for the Alberta's Heartland Association, I'd been a lifelong volunteer, and I had been running my own businesses for 23 years. So the people in the neighborhood were asking me if I would step forward and be their voice. And at the very last minute, as in Monday morning at 9 o'clock, and the papers had to be due at noon, I'm going around getting signatures, and so I decided, and I won. So I served 4 terms. I had achieved my goals that I had set out to do, to get that balance for the residents, for industry, and the economy as well. And so achieved that, and I had retired for about 2 weeks. It was a beautiful 2 weeks.
Well, that's a pretty great origin story that you
Yes.
have there. So I want to ask you next, what do you think is the most important issue that is affecting citizens of Alberta in this upcoming election?
I think it comes down to a lot of basics. I hear at the doors healthcare, the ability to be able to access a doctor and not have to pay out of pocket. There's a strong message that has been consistent for a number of years that that's the path that we're heading down, that American privatized system, and not only in healthcare but also in education as well. And Canada Pension, keeping that, and keeping the RCMP. Those are top of mind, and affordability. Those are top of mind at virtually every door I go to.
Of course. Moving on to some more kind of specifics about healthcare. How does your party plan to lower surgical wait times and also address the issue of these ambulance bottlenecks that are currently facing Alberta?
Our party is committed to having a family health teams where it will be a multiple discipline under the umbrella of, so you will have doctors, dietitians, psychologists, the entire gamut. So it will give access to 1 million more people to that family doctor. So if they are able to see a family doctor, it helps keep them out of the emergency, because there's so many people that don't have family doctors. And our own family doctor he retired. He said he couldn't put up with the chaos any longer, and it took us over a year to find a family doctor, and we were very lucky and that we were actually able to do that. So by stopping that chaos, in the past 4 years, the UCP has undervalued all health professionals, doctors, ambulance drivers, EMTs, all of it. And they have underfunded, undervalued, the morale is terrible. And my hats are off to not only them, but the teachers as well, because they've done that to the schools as well. So should we be able to form government within that 100 days, we will restore the EAs, all of those people, those 20,000 people who received a text, if you can imagine, in March that they were fired. I mean, how cruel and heartless is that?
Well, it's great to hear your input on that then, because this is definitely, it's a very wide issue of concern, I know, for a lot of Albertans right now.
It is.
So next up, moving away from the politics a little bit,
Sure.
I would just like to ask you a series of some fun rapid fire questions to sort of help constituents get to know you a little better.
You bet.
Okay, so first off, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Life is like a box of chocolates, and that, and probably Mrs. Doubtfire.
Those are both really good movies.
They are pretty darn good.
I can agree with those
timeless.
picks. If you could see any artist at all in concert right now, who would you pick?
Barbra Streisand, because she is a classic voice, but she's actually very audience shy, and she doesn't tour very often, so that would be an incredible treat to see her. And as she's aging, we might never see her again, but yeah, what a talent.
Great answer. So what is your kind of favorite, go-to comfort food?
Potato chips, which I thought as I aged I would not like them so much, but I really do. So that's, yeah, chips.
Yes. Will you be rooting for the Oilers in their game tonight?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I hope they're going to do it tonight.
Yeah, let's all keep our fingers crossed on that. So this is our final question for you today. Why should voters support you and your party?
Because I think that I am the best person suited for it. This is a very urban-rural riding, and I have got the knowledge from the rural side. I bring my municipal experience for the urban side. I have worked with all of the towns that are within this riding, including St. Albert. I have sat on many boards that have got 13 municipalities, so I'm very collaborative. I'm a consensus builder, so I've got the knowledge and I've got the passion to stand up for a better future for Alberta.
Well, that brings us to the end of the interview, so thank you so much for your time today, Karen, for coming out, and I wish you the best of luck in the election race.
Thank you so much for having me.
Coming up next, reporter Natalie Cory brings us part 2 of her video series on MCTV and its alumni. This next edition is titled Where Are They Now? And takes a look at the careers of some of the past MCTVers and the way that MCTV helped them to reach where they are now.
MCTV is a class resembling a real-life news broadcasting station, but on a lower scale. This can ease students into the media career field, giving them the ability to develop skills used down the broadcasting path and inspire them to pursue jobs within this field of work.
Knowing that MCTV was here and having like a real-world application for it And learning here, just as much as I learned in college, was a launch pad into my career.
So it was because of my experience and getting to know Booter and getting to know Mr. DeWold and all that kind of stuff, where they were all like, yeah, it was silly that you were still going for science. You should be in film and TV. Go over there.
Not only have the skills they've learned in this class helped them with their current jobs, but it teaches skills helpful in all aspects of their life.
I think it helps you deal with anger management and time management. The working in a group and having to problem solve was really quite beneficial.
Being prepared and how it leads to success, I think that's a huge thing.
I think everyone kind of lets their guard down a little bit, or not guard down, but just I think people are just more free to be themselves. And I think that leads to all sorts of great memories.
Learning how you can apply your skills to different things that maybe you didn't think.
You get to build your confidence through this program. It helps you while you're behind the camera or in front of the camera. Doesn't matter which place you are, you're building your confidence.
A collection of MCTV alumni have used the skills they've learned in this class to their advantage throughout their careers. The video techniques they were taught while making their own reports and working show days with a group of people gave them a head start in their field of work.
So it just like helps you develop leadership skills. And yeah, maybe I wasn't the most creative, but like I wanted to be part of that logistically. It's just it's a well-balanced class.
I don't think anyone really realizes the amount of work. I mean, you know, the half-an-hour show that we see on the air, I mean, it looks like it's a pretty straightforward effort, but when you look at the collective amount of work that goes into that show, you know, you're probably looking at, I mean, class time alone, it's going to be about 8 hours of class time.
Our students are incredibly lucky to have access to a class that is such a useful stepping stone for a wide range of fun and interesting careers. We hope to see many students continuing in this class and using it to their advantage in the future. For MCTV News, Natalie Cory reporting.
And that's it for another episode of MCTV News. Join us for our next episode, where we will be bringing you pieces on the Fusion Thrift Shop, the Ice Hut, Skills Alberta's video competition, and the ISC program at MCHS. Additionally, stay tuned for an in-studio interview with the one and only Mr. Kent Lazard regarding the 2023 track season at MCHS, as well as your weekly weather update and sports recap. Can only hope by next show the smoke has died down a bit.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, they had to postpone track like twice now.
I know.
And it's like ridiculous.
Which is so disappointing.
Like no one can even be outside. Granted, it's given me an excuse to stay in my house and not do anything, which I'm fine with.
Fair. I will say it makes the sun look really pretty at sunset. It's
That's
like
really
all red.
true, right?
It's a fun,
I took a couple pictures.
Fun atmosphere.
It was very pretty. From all of us at MCTV News, I'm Brianna Farough.
And I'm Avery Pelletier. Thanks for tuning in.